Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be moving on to lesson 2 in chapter 1, and we will be discussing algebraic expressions. So if you remember what an algebraic expression is from yesterday, remember that that's going to be any expression that has a variable, operations and constants mixed in there. All right, so I hope you're ready to go. We're going to get started here right now. Right off the bat, we do have 7 warm-ups. You'll notice that 1, 2, and 3 are very similar to what we did yesterday. 4, 5, 6, and 7 is just to see if you know or you can pick the operation symbol that goes with each word. So I want you to give these 7 a shot, and we'll talk about them in just a second. Go ahead. Pause now. All right, so when you look at this, the very first one, evaluate, that's the question. What you have to do is make sure that we are going to substitute this 4 in for y, and we actually get 9 times 4 minus 13. Okay, 9 times 4 is going to be 36. 36 minus 13, our answer is going to be 23. You have to take 36 minus 13 to get to 23. Make sure that you're plugging things in correctly. All right. Second one, we're going to plug 2 in for n. We're going to plug 3 in for p, and our answer, or our equation, or sorry, expression, is what we get 6 times 2 plus 2 times 3. And what we have to do first is multiply. Okay, we are going to multiply 6 times 2, which is 12. We're also going to multiply 2 times 3, which is 6. Add between them, and our overall answer is going to be 18. So we have 23 for the first one. We have 18 for the second one. And it's time to try number 3. All right, so we're going to do number 3. Remember, we plug in what we know. So if you notice, my x is 1 here. I'm going to plug 1 in for x. My y is 2 here. So I'm going to plug 2 in for y. My equation becomes 3 times 1 minus 2. Okay, so I have 3 times 1 minus 2. When I take 3 times 1, that is 3. So I have 3 minus 2, and my answer is 1. Again, 3 times 1 is 3, minus 2, answer is 1. All right, so again, answer to number 1 is 23. Answer to number 2 is 18. Answer to number 3 is 1. Very nice. All right, we're going to move on to the very bottom 4. We have 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, I hope you are ready to go. All right, so this very first one, what it asks us to do is it is asking us to come up with an operational symbol for each word. So when I look at sum, the word sum, what operation am I talking about? Well, the word sum, I will be talking about addition. Addition. Product is a problem. What type of examples are we going to be dealing with product? It's going to be multiplication. Okay, or you have your raised dot, which we are going to be using here in pre-algebra. Quotient. Quotient is one that's a little bit more rare. A lot of people don't like the word quotient because they're not quite sure what it means. Okay, but whenever you see the word quotient, I don't want you to be afraid of it, but just know that you are dealing with a division problem. Division. Last but not least, we have difference. We are going to be dealing with subtraction problem when we deal with difference. All right. So what we are going to do today is we are going to move on to algebraic expressions. Today we're going to be translating between algebraic expressions, both algebraic expressions and word phrases. So giving you going back and forth between algebraic expressions and word phrases to algebraic expressions. Hope you're excited. this is going to be the sheet that I gave before you left today. When you look at this, these are going to be phrases and key words that are going to be focused with different operations. So if you look at this very top column up here, okay, that top column, there's addition. Words that go with addition are plus, add, sum, more than, and increased by. Okay, so those are common words that can be associated with adding. With subtracting, you get minus, subtract, difference, less than, and decreased by. Notice when you look at this fourth bullet point of less than, be careful because I'm asking you 11 is less than a number. Notice in my example, I'm actually talking about x minus 11. Notice that my 11 and my x are actually flipped around here in my actual answer. So when I put 11 is less than a number, I'm talking about x minus 11. Notice 11, it comes second in the algebraic expression, but in the word phrase, it comes first. So be careful on that. All right. Multiplication, you see a few words being times, multiplied, and product. Product meaning the answer of two multiplied numbers. Okay, and last but not least, we have division, and you can use words like divided by, divided into, and quotient. Again, quotient talking about the answer to a division problem. All right, so you will have this sheet. You can use this sheet on your homework. You can use this sheet for notes to help you study, just different words that you are going to be using. I want you to get used to using multiple or more than one word for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So for instance, if you're always using plus, you know what I want you to try to use? Go outside of your comfort zone and use add, or use sum, or use more than. Okay, try to use something that you're not exactly used to. All right, so let's try a few. Remember, ooh, look at this yellow bar. That's sunshine that brightens up your day. So what I want you to do is make sure you write down your directions and write down each example problem here. Okay? So what you can do is you can write down your example problems after you write down your directions, and then if you would like to, you can try it, and then we'll go on. So pause the video right now. Give it a shot. All right. So we have algebraic expressions. The examples give us word phrases here. So we have 9 less than a number W. So one key to this is those two words of less than. Okay. Remember when we talked about that problem right before this slide on that sheet? If you're looking at that algebraic expressions sheet with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division and all those word phrases, if you look at that less than, it says 11 less than a number. What did we talk about? What happened with the x and the 11? They flipped. Remember, even though it was 11 less than a number, I wrote x minus 11. Okay, same thing here. I have this less than. That less than's a little tricky. It just tells me that in my algebraic expression, I'm going to flip these two. I know less than means subtraction. All right, but that less than means I flip it. So actually my W comes first. W minus 9. W minus 9. All right. Next, we have 3 increased by the difference of P and 5. P and 5. So if I look at this, there's a couple problems that's happening here. Increased by, and we also have difference. Okay, what are we going to use for increased by? Plus. What are we going to use for difference? Minus. Absolutely. Okay, so if I looked at this, I would take 3 increased by the difference of p and 5. So I'd have 3 plus p minus 5. Okay? But I want you to be very careful. Remember at the very beginning when we talked about sum, we talked about difference, we talked about quotient, and we talked about product. Those were answers to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division problems. The word difference means the answer to a subtraction problem. So I want to take 3 plus the answer of p minus 5. So I want to have p minus 5 come first. I need to have that problem come first. So what could I put inside this problem to make sure that according to my order of operations, I do p minus 5 first? What do you think? All right, I hope you came up with, or maybe you weren't sure, parentheses. I can put parentheses around p minus 5 because that tells me I have to do p minus 5 first and then increase it by 3. Okay, p minus 5 first and then increase it by 3. All right, so be careful when you start dealing with problems that ask you to maybe find the product of something first. You might want to put parentheses around it so you actually find that first. All right? Awesome! All right, now you're writing a word phrase. So before we were given a word phrase into an algebraic expression. Now we're giving an algebraic expression and you come up with a word phrase. So write this down and I want you to see what word phrase you come up with for this problem. All right, give it a shot. Pause now. All right, let's see the word phrase. So we have read a word phrase for the algebraic expression 7 plus 19 times b, or 19b. When I look at this, one thing that I do, I say the algebraic expression and write it exactly like I said it. Well, 7 plus 19 times b. All right, well, 7 plus 19 times b. And I'm done. You could also have 19 times a number, but it does give me this b here, so I'm just going to use b as that number. So in this answer, that's what I came up with. Other things there are many other different answers that you could have come up with, such as 7 added to the product of 19 and b. You could have had 7 more than the product of 19 and b. 7 plus 19 multiplied by a number, or not multiplied by b. So many different answers that you could have come up with. Just make sure that it is similar to 7 plus 19 times b. All right? Sweet! Moving on. Man, I tell you, we are just flying through this stuff. Flying through. We're having fun. Enjoying it. Here, notice there is no sunshine here, so you do not have to write this down. Don't worry about it. We'll come up to one more problem that you have to write down. You only have one more note of the day. It's coming up. So hold on to your hats, ladies and gents. We're going to get going on that problem in just a second. But it says, to solve a word problem, you must first interpret the action you need to perform and then choose the correct operation for that action. Word problems are very, very, very difficult. I understand that, and you know that. Okay? A lot of times, these are the hardest problems to come up with. So what we do is we find little things inside the word problems to figure out what are we actually going to do. Okay, so if you see the words combine, okay, when we're talking about combining, we're going to be operating. Okay, if they ask you a clue like how many altogether, okay, combining into equal groups. If we want it to be equal groups, we are multiplying. Again, how many altogether are we talking about? Separate. If we need to separate two numbers or separate two things, How many more do we have, or how many less do we have? Okay, so looking at this in the last one, how many equal groups for division? Just be careful. Try to think in your head and visualize, what are they asking me to do? That's the key to any word problem. What are they asking me to do? All right, we're going to come up with one word problem today. And here we go. Last problem of the day. And here it is. I want you to write this down. You can write all your work in this grid. Okay. If you would like to, if you don't need to write it in that grid, that's fine. We will get started. I'm going to show you how to do this in just a moment. If you're not sure how to do it, just wait. But if you think you know how to do it, I want you to give it a shot. All right? So I'm pause the video right now. Write this stuff down. Give it a shot if you can. Good luck. All right. So it says, a restaurant leased its banquet hall for a function. The cost was $10 per person. Write an algebraic expression to evaluate the cost if 20, 21, 22, or 23 people attended this function. All right? So if I look at this, how could I figure out the answer if 20 people attended it, 21, 22, 23? What could be an algebraic expression to calculate this? Well, we know it's $10 per person. Do we know how many people are attending? Yeah, 20, 21, 22, 23. How could we figure out, if we have $10 per person and we have that many people, how could we figure the answer out? The cost, the total cost, right? Well, you take 10 times that number. So 10 times n. All right, and we would get our overall cost. Correct? Absolutely. So we're trying to figure out 20, 21, 22, and 23. If you use this grid, that's fine. If you didn't and you did something else, that's fine as well. Okay, so if I look at this, the number of people that are coming into the banquet hall for the function, that's my n. N is the number of people. And here's my n right here. So if I look at this, I'm going to take 10 times my n, and under 20 people, 20 is my n. What's 10 times 20? 200. So the cost of 20 people to go into this banquet hall would be $200. Okay, moving on to 21. Again, 10 times my number. 10 times 21, $210. And we're moving on to 22 and 23. 10 times 22, $220. 10 times 23, $230. Make sure, it is very, very, very crucial that we have these labels in each one of these problems. With word problems, it is very key that you show your label, because I want to know, what are we talking about? Are we talking about dollars? Are we talking about pigs? Are we talking about airplanes? Are we talking about baseball bats? Who knows? Make sure you label your problem, okay? I don't want to have to go into this banquet hall for a function and start bringing in 200 pigs. No, I want to bring $200 to get there, or to figure out how much they need, okay? Or how much total they make. They don't make 200 pigs. Okay, rambling, sorry. Moving on. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to give you that assignment tomorrow. Fantastic job today. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Have a great night. See you later. Bye.